think we're streaming now. Let's see if this works. I have no idea what we're doing, but let's try it. So this is going to be exercise in trying to do some coding. Let me switch over. It's an exercise in trying to do some coding for a little project that I'm working on. Right here, we have a e-ink screen, and it's going to be displaying quotes, randomly refreshed with a bunch of different quotes, running on a Node MCU with the breadboard to do a resistor, because apparently the Node MCU doesn't let you use SPI unless you have a resistor, which isn't documented anywhere except in one random GitHub post. So that was really awesome to find out, but got it working. So now we just need to get the code to work. It's probably really tough to read that, but my apologies. I kind of with the potato camera right now. So let's go ahead and, well, let me introduce myself first, I guess. I'm Matt. I'm drinking some Angel's Envy, hence the shirt. Gonna be drinking that today while I'm trying to write some programming, or do some programming, and we'll see how things go. Let's see if we can get the Arduino IDE on the screen. So I've actually already got a skeleton program. As you can see, it has some stuff showing up. So we're gonna try and get this to work, and let me walk through the program that we have right now. It's pretty straightforward. Bunch of includes for fonts. Set up the e-ink screen. This is using the GXEPD2 library, not the GXEPD1. Their GitHub said that one's kind of deprecated, so to use this. So I'm using the newest and latest. So let's see if I can get this to work. Right now I just have a loop that displays a simple quote: alcohol may be man's worst enemy, but the Bible says love your enemy. Frank Sinatra, of course. Here is the function that does the work. I do a display setup, set up the background color, set the text color to black, change the default font, move the cursor to starting position, change the font again for some reason. I've been playing with this for a little while, so I'm not quite sure why I have that in there. Print the first part of the quote. And then here I am trying to get this part working. I want to print it without it going across or breaking the word up across lines. Right now, if I, for instance, reset this, let me show you. If I reset this, it flashes, and you'll notice that the words kind of get cut off midway through. So I'm trying to write a little thing that will break those words up, tokenize them, and then only print the word if it can print the full word. And if it can't, go to a new line. I haven't gotten this working yet, and I've got some serial output here. Let me transition back to this. I have to admit, it's going to be a little tough getting used to transitioning back and forth so much. One thing I'm going to do, though, it's kind of a there we go. Just didn't have it on there. All I was doing was moving my lovely face back to so you can see me talking while I'm showing the electronics. So back here, so I got serial monitor, and as you can see, when it runs, it spits out a bunch of garbage right here. But then it starts going through the words. And what this bounding XY is what the box is supposed to be after the and that's one problem. Let me just fix this delay. I have the delay way too short, so I'm gonna just add a few zeros, recompile that, and for some reason when it refreshes, it only prints the first word, alcohol, which, hey, it's a great word, but I'd like to see the full quote. So I'll fix that later. I want to first focus on getting this word wrap portion right. So it's refreshing, it's uploading the sketch, and there we go. Refreshes and refreshes. Well, it's probably upside down to you guys. It's upside down to me right now too. But the wires are fiddly, so lots of wires. So what I want to do is take this, this tokenizes it, string tokenizer. I'm not 100% positive on how this works. It does though. So basically, while the valid position is not null, get the next word. I have a first word. If it's true, don't add a space. Otherwise, add a space. Now this is getting the bounding box. So this is going to get where the cursor will be after the word is printed. So I have this serial statement that's saying alcohol. It starts at 2410, and then goes to 3575. That's the lower corner of it. That's great. So it should print fine. May 112, 124 should be fine. 156, 168, so on until we get to worst. Now 244, 28. So I know that worst won't fit because X, the bounding box for X, reset. So I want to do a check and see if that bounding box is bigger. If it is, I want to just move it to a new line. So if the bounding box X plus the bounding box width, which is bounding X right here, it's TBX plus TBH. Oh, that's why. That should be W though. I got X and Y mixed up, looks like. So let's recompile that and just see what happens. Nothing should change on the actual screen. But let's switch back over to this. And wait patiently while it uploads. I've noticed that the Node MCU takes forever to upload. I'm used to programming ATTs, and those are like instant. Alright, so it refreshes. And now I know that worst was getting cut off before. So this says that worst should fit. So let's take a look. And worst does not fit, even though it says it does. So that's why it wasn't. So I think I have something wrong here in my math. I wonder, X should be, so Y is this way, which would be height. X is this way, which would be width. But you know what? I want to try something. I'm going to break things here. And see if I just have some variables named wrong. So we're going to recompile that. Oh, you didn't see what I made. I basically just swapped TBH and TBW around. And let's take a look at the serial monitor when it finishes uploading. So this live stream is probably going to be pretty short. It's probably going to be half hour or so. And that seems to have actually fixed it. If I look at the screen, hey, it worked. So I have my X and Y's mixed up. So let's see here. So I think I know why that is. So I think it's because right here, this is wrong. So swap that. Re-upload. Make sure that still works. So I think this get text bounds, I just put things in the wrong spot. And we're waiting. And hey, it worked. As you can't see yet, let me get over here to transition. This transitioning is, I need to make a little hardware keyboard so I can transition in between views easier, instead of having to move the mouse all over the place. So as you can see, there's no words cut off anymore, and they're all properly indented, which is awesome. So we've got some progress. Now these are way too close together vertically, so I'm going to change how much I'm changing the height. I was doing 12 because I'm using a 9-point font, but we'll bump that up to, let's go with 18. Let's see how that looks. And transition back to this. So Angel's Enemy is actually one of my favorite bourbons. Got to go do a distillery tour, and got to try out their bourbon fresh from the distillery and see how they made it. It was pretty fun. I strongly recommend that if you ever have the chance and you're in Louisville, that you try and do the bourbon trail. It's a blast to do. You get to try lots of different bourbon. There is one bar, I wish I could remember the name of it, but they have a drink called the Hootie Holler. Do not do that. It's $2, and it's a shot of the worst bourbon you ever had and the worst beer you ever had. And you have to do the beer first, then the bourbon, and it's absolutely horrible. But for $2, hey, can't complain too much. So how's that look now? That spacing looks a lot better. So that's fantastic. That's the big thing I was trying to get accomplished tonight, and I didn't think I'd get finished this quickly. So now for the author, we still need to do kind of the same thing for the author. We want the author to basically be, here's the attribution part. So this part is good. Let's move. Oh, sorry. Forgot. So this word wrap part right here. So this is all the word wrap. So once that's done, we want to, it's not the attribution. Put in some comments. Now we need to print the attribution. So we need to do the kind of similar thing. We need to have this be basically right justified. So let's see here. How can we make this text be right justified? So what I'm going to do is we're going to get rid of this dash for now. I just had dash set there to make it look kind of nicer, but we don't need that at the moment. One thing I am going to do is I'm actually going to do where I set the cursor. Initially, I'm going to move the cursor down 20 or down 10 more, so it's got a little bit more of a space. I think it's hugging the top some. So what we can do is we can actually go here, and we want to move the cursor to let's do the display. Let's get the so how can I do this actually? So what I want to do is basically have it get the size of the text box. So it doesn't really matter where the cursor is. So we'll do 0, 0, because I just want the size. And then the TBX and TBY and TBH and TBW. So that modifies those variables. And then what I can do is I know that this is 320 pixels across. Actually, no. I want to know where I'm at right now. So we want the current Y position. Display.get cursor Y. So we want to know where it'll end up. So we also now have, let's do serial.print. Oh, we don't want val position now. We want author. So this will give us the height times the width. So if I run this, upload it. This should give us the box size. And what I care about is I don't want to change the cursor location from the Y. No, I do. I want to drop it down and say 10 to 20. Then I want to right justify it. So I want to do 320. So I want to set the cursor at 320 minus the box size. And it didn't seem to print that serial line. That's weird. So it updated. Oh, there we go. Bounding box size. 141. So wait, that's a height. What did I say? Height times width. That can't be right. That's got to be the other way around. Did I? No, that's said height. That's just weird. Oh, let's go with this. So 141. So we want height. So we want to set the cursor at display dot get cursor y plus 20, and we want 360 minus tbh. It shouldn't be that. It should be tb width, but for some reason this is wonky. So let's see here if this updates. If this moves over to be right justified. Still uploading. Dun 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 dun. And it refreshes, and it didn't even print out the author this time. So we have because and there's a couple problems there. So let me switch back. So I put the Y instead of the X. So we want to just get rid of that. And there's the other problem is that it's actually 320. And I'm going to move this over just 10, give it a little bit of room. Display dot get cursor y plus 20. And we'll try that. Go back to viewing this and let's see if we get lucky this time. So once this is done, once it right justifies it and it word wraps everything, which the word wrapping is working now, and hey, it did not quite justify it correctly, but we got closer. We know something's working. least I'm 90% sure that it's 320. Could be wrong. So let's try. So let's hear what would cause that. I mean, because it's tough for you to see, but it cut off the word right there. So it printed over there. So not quite sure why it's doing that. We'll need to debug this some. And this is kind of one of my pet peeves is I'm used to mostly coding in Python that doesn't need compiling. I just run it hundreds and hundreds of times and make small little changes and see what I can get working and if it does work or not. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. But with this, as you can see, the delay is pretty long. So let's look at the code again. So TBH, bounding box size, TBH. Shouldn't be TBH, but that's the bigger number. I guarantee 11 is not right. You know what? I'm going to just try this and drop this down to 280. We'll do that. We'll run this. And see if this does it. And then if it does, I'm going to put in a different name. Let's see if it cuts it off still. And if it doesn't, then maybe it was just I thought bigger resolution or some weird bug that I'm probably not going to be able to track down because I'm not understanding why some of these numbers aren't working out quite right. I suppose I could pull the documentation on that function. Alright, so that one. Cool. So it worked with Frank Sinatra. Let's try. So what I'm doing is I'm making that name quite a bit longer. We'll upload that. Let's see what happens when we make the name longer. Because Sinatra was the most awesome. So let's see what this looks like when it uploads. It's still uploading. Good time to drink a bourbon. And uploading, still uploading. There we go, refreshes. And I made it too long for the screen. So, what can you do? So, but I think that works. But let's just get. So we'll just do the awesome instead of the most awesome. And re-upload. See if it still rate justifies it correctly. It's very possible that I just had the screen size wrong, but I doubt it. I'm not quite sure what would be causing this. Hopefully you guys look at this and later on you can leave a comment or something and see if you see anything. I'll be posting all of this code up on GitLab under the Drunken Electronics repository soon. Well, it's not quite right justified, but it's pretty close. So let's try something. Let's just try calling him Frank. We'll try uploading that, see if that right justifies. Or honestly, if it's close enough. Yeah, and that's the thing is if you guys do enjoy videos like this, please subscribe. I'd really like to keep doing this. I'm going to be keep doing this no matter what because it's kind of fun for me. It gives me an excuse to play with electronics. And it did justify that relatively close. So I think we're good with that. One thing that I'm noticing is that right here, is that over here, see how this is indented way more? Don't want that. I want that to be, if anything, I want the first one to be aligned more. So this first one moves it down 20. Oh no, that's why. So maybe, you know what? I think all my directions are backwards. Yeah. So 10. So the first one, X, is actually going down for some reason. Because if I just made here, let me. So this was previously 2010. I just switched to 1020. And I think what I'm actually going to do is go down here. Move this. I'm going to change this to 15 because I want it indented a little bit. So let's take a look at what that does. How that makes things look. And off we go to the upload. So I'm going to be playing with this some more until this works. And hopefully, here we go. All right. That looks pretty awesome. Only concern is that if I have a longer quote, how will it push the frank off? And it looks like it's way over, but I kind of like how that looks, and I think that's just because those words wouldn't fit. So let's try a different quote. I got a list of quotes here somewhere. So let's change the quote to what's this guy's name? Steve Fergosi, I think. Yeah, Steve Fergosi. No idea who that is, but he speaks truth. So we'll run that. Let's see what this looks like after we wait the indeterminate amount of time for it to upload. Alright, and here we go. Perfect. This looks awesome. Now, what I need to do is I need to create an array and have it loop through every half hour or so and change the quote. Then I need to put it into deep sleep while it waits, because this is eventually going to be running off the battery. But this is awesome. This is more progress than I hope to make. Sure, I don't understand how this is working, but it is. And that's more important, because I'm sure I'll run into lots of corner case bugs that will eventually cause me to fix this, but I got it displaying how I want to for right now. So let's go ahead and in our setup, or actually here, because we want this to be a global variable, I want to do an array of strings. How do I do an array of strings? Because so this is where the Google machine comes in. And let's see what. Because the problem is I don't know what sizes these are going to be. These are all going to be kind of different ones. Oh, here we go. Sweet. So the compiler can count for me. So, no idea if this is going to work. But let's do car, let's say car star quote equal how do I want to do this? Because it's actually two parts. So there's a quote of blah, and the author. And I want an array of those. I'm supposed to do these. Let's see. No idea on how to do this. This is going to take a lot of trial and error. Let's see here. What can we do? In Python, this would be much, much easier, but C, everything's supposed to be fixed. Let's see. Arduino array of array. Oh, okay. I think I see how we can do this. So we want to do char array. Let's see here. Let's do 10 quotes. I will do 3 quotes right now. And each one is 2. Let's see if this even compiles. No error so far. Hey, that compiled. This may be easier than I thought. So let's move on to the next part, which is his Arduino random element of array. So my coding methodology is pretty much I Google for everything. Alright, it says look at the documentation, huh? Always wanted to look at documentation. We'll see how this works. So random max. So random 3. So what we'll try and do here is we'll do this. Because it's plural. Sorry, I get lost. I'm still getting used to this live streaming. So quotes, quote num, zero for the first element, and then quotes, quote num, 1 for the second element, which should be the author. Lies, I declared it right here. Oh, helps if I spell it right. I'll try that again. It works. Let's see if it displays a random quote. We're waiting and waiting and waiting. And I'm going to transition over to this. Hopefully in time to catch it. Yeah, because it takes forever to upload. Oh, there we go. It refreshes and it got the second one. Perfect. So this is actually really cool. This has taken a lot less time, a lot quicker than I thought it would be, thanks to the magic of Google. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a few of these quotes in here. I've got a list of quotes. So these are all alcohol related quotes, of course, because hey, this is Drunken Electronics. Let's see here. I'm sure that there's a way that I can set this up to read a text file, which would be preferable. But that would actually be really awesome if I could just put a big string of text. And I probably could, but this is good enough. I mean, I'm only ever going to have a couple dozen quotes at any one time, I think. What I may actually do what I actually not may will probably end up doing is setting this up because it isn't Node MCU or ESP8266. Set it up so it can pull the internet for a random quote and only fall back to ones that are whatchamacallit, are in memory if it can't get an internet connection. So, but we'll see how this goes. There we go. WC Fields. No idea who James Thurber is, but that's a true statement if there ever was one. Love me a martini though. Actually got some really good gin. I'm in Arizona. There's this brewery in Arizona called Copper State Distilling. They make this fantastic gin. It's not super junipery. Which, I don't mind. But not having that overwhelming juniper is actually pretty nice sometimes. But it makes fantastic martinis. I love me a good dirty martini. Hunter S. Thompson. That has definitely worked for him. Now this one's going to be interesting because this one is definitely going to run off the screen. And I don't have any error checking or anything like that, so it's just going to... skip this Trump one because that one is just way too long. No idea who George Best is either, but he has a pretty good quote. So we'll upload that and see if I missed any commas or anything like that. Doesn't look like it. Oh, and I just realized that forgot to switch. Oops. So, I forgot to also update how many quotes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we got 11. So let's see how this works. All right. So we'll see if this compiles, which it did. It's now uploading. So go back and look at the pretty screen flashes. Any second now. There we go. Flashes, and hey, that worked. So now what we're going to do is we're going to also go back and change the delay. I'm going to change the delay to something reasonable for testing. Let's say 10 seconds. And now we'll do 30 seconds. I think that's 30 seconds. We'll see. Yeah, 1,000. Yeah. So anyway, we're uploading again. Watching the pretty blue light. So as I was saying, though, the next step's going to be I need to get it set up so it uses almost no power. And we'll see if I can get it to last for a while off batteries. Alright, so it runs that first one. Then let's wait another 30 seconds or so. Hopefully I did 30 seconds, not 300 seconds. We'll see. Dun, 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 dun. I don't know the Jeopardy rhythm, but I think I did more than 30 seconds. Let's see here. Oh, no, it was 30 seconds. Something's broke. That's weird. So it's passing just the first word. So I'm wondering what's happening. These aren't getting reset. I got no idea why that would be. Because it should recall it. That doesn't make any sense at all. Oh, there we go. Do I have a... No, I don't have anything outside. So it prints just the first word the second time it updates. Then the next time it updates, it does fine. I have no idea what would cause that. And then it goes back to just, oh, you can't see. So went back to just doing alcohol. Well, it's coming up on an hour for this live stream, and it's getting a little late for me. I'm going to give up on this for now, and I'll tackle it again later this week when I have some time, and we'll see how things go. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. But thank you guys for watching this. If you like the Drunken Electronic stuff, please like and subscribe. This video should be posted immediately. I'm not sure how it works on YouTube yet. First time doing a live stream. So we'll see. But thank anyone who watches this. Have a good one. And salute. The glass is empty, so it's definitely time to stop. Have a good one. Bye.